Have you been chasing normal? You know, the way things used to be, the familiar. Remember those days where you know exactly what morning, noon, afternoon, and evening might include? Or perhaps you're chasing expectations, unmet expectations, what you thought your day to day would look like. And even those dreams are gone. There's a little bit of grief involved with chasing normal. But there's also the question of what is normal? What is normal? But before I go there, let's introduce myself. Welcome to Becoming You Again channel. My name is Maggie Sabatier Smith, also known as Coach Maggie. And most recently, I've taken ownership of my birth name, Magali Caridad. And so you'll see me or hear me use those interchangeably. They're all me. And spoiler alert, there soon will be stories written about Margot, and Margot is my alter ego. So stay tuned for that. But let's get back to the topic. And I asked the question, what is normal? Normal is different for each one of us, isn't it? You know, some of us are get up early, some of us like to sleep in, some of us just kick off those covers and we just rally. And some of us kick off the covers and we go slowly into that kitchen in search of that first cup of cafecito. Those last 8 weeks have held a variety of mornings for me, as some of you who have watched my videos have heard. I broke my arm, and it's been 8 weeks. The good news is I do not need shoulder surgery. I can't say that fast because I get all tongue-tied. And so that's a praise report. Also don't have to wear what I affectionately called my leash, which is the sling, which makes it a little challenging because my right arm has now remembered everything that used to be normal for it, and it wants to do those things, and we're not ready. So I'll be shifting from home health, occupational therapy to outpatient, probably in a week or so, and things will progress. But that's not what I'm talking about today, because I'm really sick of myself and sick of focusing on my arm. Let's move on to chasing normal. Why is it so natural for us to, even though we're looking, going forward, we're stepping into a new place, we start going like this and we start, but wait, I left this behind and I forgot to bring this along. And there's that tug of war between what was and what is. Normal is individual, isn't it? No one can tell you what normal looks like. Maybe in their world, they have a vision of normal and it doesn't look like yours. Cultural differences, being in a different country. You know, if I go visit my family in the Canary Islands, they have really long lunches and their dinners are late at night. And so the things that are normal to their daily life are new and unusual for me. So chasing normal can really open a doorway to grief, can't it? Because we begin to grieve what was, what never was, and we start focusing on that and we begin to spiral. I confess that as I encountered the challenges of using my left arm, left hand, instead of my dominant, it was a challenge. And there was grief involved. I didn't stay there long because I'm not one for pity parties. Nobody ever comes to our pity parties, do they? But there it is. You start grieving and you go, wait a minute, what's my life going to be like after this? 8 weeks, a slice of life that's pretty huge for a busy person like I am. what's going to happen when I come back? Well, what do I tell my clients when they have these kinds of now what seasons, when what was no longer is? I usually, to encourage them, will say, it's just a season. Relax, peace, it's just a season. Well, that sentence gives us hope, gives us peace, gives us a goal, even though we don't know when the season will be over necessarily, we know that there will be an end to that season. And that's encouraging. But that doesn't really help us day to day. It doesn't really help us. What I've discovered as I live out my own metaphor for now what seasons, break your arm, what happens next? As I embrace this, I've discovered that we are meant to live today fully, to be fully alive today. Today, this moment with you is precious. I'm dedicated to you. I'm intentional about speaking to you. It's important to me that I encourage you with, yes, it's a season, but I also want to encourage you to say, hold on to this moment, and the next one, and the next one, not the one you left behind, but the one you're in, and live fully. That is the most important thing I'm taking away from this current season that I'm in. I'm noticing so many things that are so beautiful in my surroundings. I'm noticing people. I'm noticing the new birds at my feeder. I even notice, because I look out right behind my monitor is the window to my bird feeder, and I notice the different birds that show up and what time of day they show up. I also notice how long they stay at the feeder. I notice who's dominant and who flies away when the big bird comes along. I notice the flowers. I notice my bougainvillea that has not flowered yet, but it will. It will. It's just the season right now of growing, but the flowers will come, and I'm confident. So, what about this chasing normal? What about the chasing what the idea of what normal is? Funny story. I actually made my bed a couple weeks ago with my left, using my left. Not easy. It's a king size bed. The quilts are heavy. And then I actually wanted to put the little pillows on. Of course, why did I do that? Who cares about the pillows? I do. So I did all of that, and it looked good, and I felt so good about myself. The next day, I wake up and I'm wiped out. I could barely function. And so I didn't make the bed. That night, I said to my husband, honey, I'm sorry. I just couldn't make the bed today. He graciously responded, don't worry about it. You don't need to make the bed. And then I laughed because when have I ever made the bed every day? When have I been 100% making the bed? It was an expectation that I had that I would be that perfect, I don't know, what shall we call me? Wife. I don't know. I don't even know what to call me because he doesn't care if I make the bed. So it doesn't provide any wifely contribution to our marriage. But those are the things that we chase because we think that that's part of what we should be, what we could be. And chasing normal also reminds me of how many clients I've had that are chasing balance. Oh, Coach Maggie, I need balance in my life. I absolutely. And then when I ask them, well, help me understand, what does balance look like? And they're stumped. They don't know. They don't know what balance looks like. Do you? At what moment do you sit or you stand and you strut and you go, I have achieved balance? Because as soon as we say that, what happens? We're out of balance. I remember a time I was speaking at an event. They had me speak about balance. Women want to know about balance, Coach Maggie. So I'm talking to them. This was a younger Maggie, and I'm in my high heels. And I start strutting across the platform. And I said, this is what it might look like when we find balance. And I'm like, I'm balanced, and I'm strutting across the platform. As soon as I stop, I'm out of balance. And it's a good thing that I don't do that anymore. No high heels. And I'm definitely not strutting across a platform. We all know what happens when I strut. But think about it. How are we going to get there? When you're chasing, how will you know you arrived? If you're chasing normal, what will it look like when you get there? Think about it. And that's really my message today. And it all started with me. Most of my writing and messages start with that thought that I have during meditation or writing in my journal. I start pondering, okay, so you broke your arm, you're not left-handed, you're learning how to write with your left hand because you're a writer, you're trying to do this. Now you're learning how to dictate and be understood because my voice, for some reason, I get very unusual results when I'm asking Chat GPT to transcribe what I'm saying. I had to be careful. That's all new to me. It's new stuff. YouTube, new to me, new stuff, exciting. Editing a video. I've never edited a video. I probably won't edit this video. Why? Because I want to put it up today. I want to upload a video. I promised myself I would put them up every week and I haven't. That's going to be my part of my normal day is get some ideas going, start filming, get things edited, and once a week upload a video. Why? Because I have a message to tell the world. I have a message for women, excuse me, for women that are in their now what season. They don't know what to do. They don't know how to move forward. And it's so tempting, so tempting to look back. It's so tempting to say, but I used to be more comfortable back there. I know what to do there. I don't know what to do here. I call myself the queen of do-overs. Why? Because I've started new so many times for so many different reasons. Work or career, or marriage, relationships, you name it, new geography. I've done it. I've lived long enough to know that now what seasons can be challenging. Now what seasons can cause us to grieve what we've left behind. But let's not stay there. Let's just go forward. Just look forward. My mornings are precious because they're fresh and new, and fresh new mercies according to God's word are showing up for me. I want that. I want that every morning, and I want to leave the day knowing that I gave it everything, that I lived in that day that I lived. So I hope you heard something that you needed to hear today. There's somebody watching this video who is stuck chasing normal. No one can tell you that you have a new normal or inflict a normal on you. You get to choose what your day looks like, what your hour looks like, what this moment looks like. You get to choose what you take away from watching this video. I pray blessing over you. I pray just a peace and a full enjoyment for this moment at this time, for such a time as this. God bless you, and I hope to see you again really soon.